Oh. Are you ready? Are you ready? I think you are. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, everywhere? Welcome. Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Got the shades on. It's Flamingo Friday. We're celebrating. Lane Kiffin, the Lane train's coming into Fayetteville tomorrow. I want your predictions. That's what I want. That's what this is about. It's your predictions. We got some updates. We got some things to talk about. And yeah, you can check out the shades. Oh, makes me feel like The Rock. I don't know why. Or Dr. Disrespect, maybe. What's up, Fishman? How you doing? Robert Ainsworth, what's up? Mr. Cobra, Skylar Degler. I believe we're going to win by a good margin. Fishman, holy shit, I hope we win. Doug Stubbs, first like. There you go, Doug. Fishman, second like. How you guys doing? More like the Lane train, says Fishman. There is a lot to go over this week. There's a lot to discuss this week. So we'll go over it. If you guys haven't already, I put it in the comment section for you. Like, comment, please hit the like, share the content, tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out all the links provided for you down below. You said my name you said my last name right. Yeah, Degler. Is that not a common thing? I used to get called Taylor so often in school. I don't know how many times. Taylor. I'm not Taylor. Do all that stuff. Most of all, share the content and like. Those are two big ones. Those matter. And, of course, check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box. Check them all out. All the notes, all the noties. I think this episode of the Hog Talk, if you haven't, I think you'll like it. It's a good one. Kyle and I couldn't get on the same schedule this week, so I had to Han Solo that bad boy, and I did just that. And Kyle interviewed. He had a really good interview with a personality from Ole Miss. I beg my well, wait a minute, hang on. I thought I had it pulled up here. I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. But he interviewed. It was a really good interview. It's very knowledgeable. But go check it out. Who did you? Kyle, are you in chat? Who on earth did you? That is my bad. Well, anyways, it was a good interview. That's what matters. It was good stuff. I wanted to give her a shout out. Oh wait, you know what? I can pull it up on my phone really quick. So, if you guys haven't done all that stuff, do it. Like, comment, share, all that wonderful stuff. The topics are thick. There's a lot. So we'll get to that. And here she is, Jordan Dollinger from Believe All Things Ole Miss podcast. It was a good interview. It was really good. What's up with those glasses? I've been wearing them every Flamingo Friday, Joshua Michael. Every Friday, Budro. It's Flamingo Friday. This must be your first time here. This is what we do. Flamingo shirt. I've got like 3 Flamingo shirts. I got a navy blue one with the pink flamingos. It's pretty rad, not going to lie. All right, well, let's get on with it then. Let's get into the first portion. I'm going to try and keep up with you guys in chat, too. If you guys, I want your predictions. I want your scores. So give me those. And while you're doing that, we're going to start off with number 1. How about network changes? Again, we did talk about this on the Hog Talk podcast, but the Ole Miss at Arkansas game has been switched from ESPN2 over to the SEC Network. I think they moved the A&M game or something. I'm not entirely sure why they did that, I guess, because it's a game that kind of matters, even though these two teams aren't ranked. High-flying, really good Ole Miss offense versus a pretty salty defense in Arkansas, and an offense I think we'll see some sparks fly this week. How about Arkansas starting center Ricky Stromberg makes the Remington Trophy watch list this week? That's the award given to the nation's top center at the end of the year. Nobody should be surprised by that. He started at center all 3 games. Remember last year he came in and played guard. I think he ended up starting 10 or 11 games last year at the guard position. I kind of think that's his natural position, guard, but yeah, he's killing it as a center. Razorback baseball recruiting news. Maumelle High School 2024 right-hand pitcher Tag Andrews. That's a good name for a baseball player. I'm sorry. Tag Andrews. Are you kidding? Does it get any more baseball than that? Commits to Arkansas. Andrews is currently the 40th ranked right-handed pitcher in his class and 2nd overall in the country, or in Arkansas. Sorry. And also, sticking with the 2023 class, 3rd baseman out of Florida, Aiden Miller, 6'2", 200 pounds, commits to Arkansas. Miller is the 2nd-ranked 3rd baseman and 3rd player overall in the class of 2023, according to Perfect Game. He's one of those will he make it to campus types. I mean, he is. That you hope you can get the talent like that on campus, but that's a tough one. Arkansas basketball news. Arkansas lands Little Rock forward transfer Kamani Johnson. I think this happened on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Monday or Tuesday. 6'7", 215 pounds, becoming their 4th grad transfer for the offseason. Johnson chose the Hogs over DePaul and St. John's. He averaged 11 points, nearly 7 rebounds per game, 2 assists, starting in 25 games for the Trojans last season. Rakeem Boyd, to Sam Pittman's surprise, tweeted that he is back. So that's the good news. It sounds like you're going to get at least 2 of the 3 Bs back this week. Rakeem Boyd and Treylon Burks were seen participating in practice this week. Mo Brown, I'm hearing all sorts of – it's him. It's a little bit more revealing with him in terms of the kind of rumors that are out there. It sounds like he participated, but he was kind of limited. He was more or less, from what I understand, doubtful coming into this week, and now getting ready for the game. Game day's tomorrow, obviously. Sounds like he's gone from doubtful to somewhere between probable and questionable. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see him. Bumper Pool's been another one. Bumper Pool, I have no idea. I have been asked a couple of times if Pool was going to play. I will say this, and again, I talked about this on the HTP on today's podcast. I did talk to a pretty reputable source on, I think, Tuesday. I hate that damn word source, but I don't know how else to put it. Someone in the know, let's just say that, who's in the media. I actually talked to a couple. One of them said Saturday he's going to be listed as a game day decision, and the other one said that he was absolutely out. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. My guess is, because nobody knows, no one's really talking about it, no one's answering the question, my guess is that he's probably not going to play. But again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you're getting back Burks, Boyd. Again, Burks is probably game day decision, but odds are Burks is going to play. Mo Brown sounds like he's probably game day decision. They all participated, and Hudson Henry also participated in practice this week. So you're getting all those guys back on offense. So, and I will give you my prediction here at the end of the show. That's going to be the last thing that we do. So, yeah. All right. Let me get caught up on chat before we get into this bad boy. We will win tomorrow. Confirmed by me. My name used to be Tanya Henry, but I changed it so you can remember me. You changed it to Andrew Henry? Joshua Michael, not my first time here. Maybe a first for a Friday for sure. The glasses fit your face and make you look like a big-time stoner. Really? A stoner? I don't know that I've ever, and I wear these glasses everywhere. I don't know that I've ever heard that before. Andrew Henry says 28-38 Arkansas. I just want a win. Arkansas is due some good karma. Brother, you're not lying about that. I'd like to see a 2-touchdown win, but we'll be happy with the dub, even if it's. I'm assuming you're saying even if it's a close game. How about starting same quarterback 3 games in a row? We'll be 4 games tomorrow. Been like forever since that happened. I'm so glad you brought that up, Mark. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, when's the last time that happened? Fishman says 45-42. That's his prediction, okay? So we've got Andrew's prediction. We got Fishman. James Brewer says go Hogs. Beat Ole Miss. Whoopig-Suey. It's our time to shine, baby. Pimp tie. That's right. Respect the drip, Karen. Just get the W. Yeah, but I want your prediction, James. Give me your prediction, buddy. I want your scoring prediction. I want to know what you think. If you did not get a notification, just remember to tap the notification bell, and hopefully that solves the issue with notifications. I know I realize they haven't been going out to everybody, and I apologize for that. Not my fault. Freaking YouTube. Diehard Cowboys fan, 35-28 is what he says. King Mello says 48-19. Joshua Michael says 34-27. Okay, who diehard? So I'm assuming you have Hogs. I'm assuming that's Razorbacks. Okay, I think that's who you're talking about. You didn't give me a name, but I'll just assume it was Arkansas. So the Rebels 1-2 coming into Fayetteville, coming off a 63-48 loss to number 2 Alabama. Kiffin has had some COVID concerns, but they are cleared today. By the way, Nick Saban is going to be cleared tomorrow, so Bama and Georgia is happening tomorrow. Boy, that is the game of the year. That's like playoff game in the middle of the season. How about that? Gotta love it. Here's what Lane Kiffin had to say about just the injury situation from last week, and he did say they got hit. I think as of Wednesday, he had stated that we have enough guys to go if the game were tomorrow. Now, that was earlier in the week or midweek. They are traveling to Fayetteville. They're on their way. So they will be there's a kickoff tomorrow. There's a game happening. He says it's very difficult moving people around. We're beat up from a very high play count, intense game against a great team on Saturday. So we are not great. We're not in a great situation number-wise at all. For the first time in the last month, some of the Ole Miss football team is dealing with a COVID-19 outbreak. I don't know to what extent. I literally copy and pasted that off of Ole Miss Ole Miss website. According to the school-wide Ole Miss COVID-19 dashboard, which was updated, at least that I saw, was updated I think around 9:30 on Wednesday. There are 19 active student cases of COVID-19 across the entire Ole Miss student body. There were 4 new cases on Monday and then just 2 on Tuesday. So student body-wise, that's not a lot. That's 19 kids who tested positive. And, you imagine they probably got that while on campus. But Lane Kiffin saying that he's got a number of issues going on here. When I combine that with what Arkansas is getting back this week, I don't know. With all that being said, let's move on to the actual matchup. And I'll start off by saying this, too. Arkansas cannot get off to a slow start, obviously. A lot of you know this. You're smart. You're here, or you listen to the Hog Talk or something. You know what I'm about to tell you, and it's a slow start against this really good Ole Miss offense is going to cost you. Now, right now, Arkansas is favored at 57, almost 57.5% over Ole Miss in Fayetteville. Again, kickoff's at 2:30, in case you were wondering. Corral has been really good. I mean, this kid, their quarterback, this kid is dangerous. He can make things happen out of the pocket. He's thrown for almost 1,100 yards, 67 completions out of 88 attempts, 76% pass completion. He has a 68-yard touchdown under his belt. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick with an adjusted quarterback rating of 210.7 off the charts. This kid is playing really well. He's been sacked 8 times this year. Their pass blocking has been a little shaky at times. I really thought Arkansas was going to be able to take advantage of Auburn, who had to replace, 4 guys on the offensive line. And based on what we had seen going into the Razorback game for Auburn, I really thought Arkansas was going to get back there and with Jonathan Marshall, and even though they've had some injuries, we've seen some other guys kind of step up. I was hoping that we would see some more sacks. We didn't really. Now, Auburn replaces their guys with 4- and 5-star talent. Ole Miss does not. Talent-wise, they've got some pieces up front, but they are not a very good pass-blocking offense. Like, that's your area where I think you have a shot at making something happen. Again, 8 sacks through 3 games isn't exactly great. But the problem is Corral sometimes kind of runs into trouble, so it's not always on the offensive line. Again, they've got some pieces up front, and they're not super terrible after all. Look at this offense. For this offense to click as well as it has, their offensive line has to be pretty good. It's got to be pretty decent, right? But I don't think all of those sacks are on him, just like the same thing with Felipe Franks. Not all those sacks are on the offensive line. I think Felipe's been sacked 7 times this year, 1 less time than Matt Corral. Jerrion Ely, who's ran the ball 243 times for almost 5.5 yards per carry, 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. Snoop Connor, 179 yards off 37 carries, just shy of about 5 yards a carry with also 4 touchdowns. They're the only 2 guys that have scored on the ground, but they have scored 8 times on the ground through 3 games. That's not terrible. How many rushing touchdowns do the Hogs have? Anybody? From a running back's what I meant. I meant to say that on the Hog Talk, and I did not clarify on that. But, yeah, they've not very many. In fact, Arkansas, not a single rushing touchdown from a running back. Elijah Moore, 31 catches, 462 yards. He has a 57-yard pass under his belt with a touchdown. How about Kenny? And this is a tight end. Kenny Yeboah, 15 catches, 355 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's definitely utilized in the red zone. Ole Miss has got some pieces on offense. Defensively, nobody stands out. Like, there's no one on this defense that you look at statistically that blows you away. Sam Williams, their linebacker, he's got 12 tackles and 2 sacks, and he's got a pass breakup. Again, there's some pieces left over there that were some guys that were really highly recruited. Lakia Henry, we all know that name very well. Lakia Henry is over there. A.J. Finley, who has their only interception on the year, by the way. 1 pick. They have 1 pick on the year. Their defense is just not good. They're terrible. Their defense is just awful. Let me get caught up on chat. What is wrong with Gerald? That's the $1 million question. Hogs Agri Teach 89. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. I think he needed some. I know Levi Draper had to have shoulder surgery, which was the same. I think it's the same injury he had when he was at Oklahoma. So that's why Draper's not out there. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Dorian Gerald. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a message board somewhere where someone has that answer. I don't know. But they need him out on the field. There's no doubt about that. Die Hard says, yeah, Hogs. Okay. We're clear then. You pick the Hogs. I think Hogs D make Ole Miss look like another Mississippi State, says King Mello. I don't know. If Alabama couldn't do it, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't disagree because they did exploit Mississippi State. You're dead on about that. You're 100% right. But their offense is better than Mississippi State's. They're just clicking. I don't know what Lane Kiffin did. Like, Lane Kiffin is doing what I thought Leach would be doing at Mississippi State. No defense, but racking up yards on offense. Mississippi State, they just destroy a terrible LSU football team. We all thought, including yours truly, oh, snap, Mississippi State's for real. Maybe we should have pulled the trigger after all. And now look, now we're like, okay, I think we got the right guy. Sam Pittman has surrounded himself with a fantastic staff, and you got to be excited about that. But it's not happening at Mississippi State. Instead, it's happening at Ole Miss. Now, maybe Odom, and I've said before, I'm not calling him a Bobby Petrino, but he is damn close. I think as far as like his mind, his defensive mind, I think he's somewhere in that neighborhood. I hope he can continue to do that. You wonder about, again, depth. Durability of these guys. He's making this work with former walk-ons, with guys that have struggled the last couple of years, doing it without Dorian Gerald, without a couple of starters in the secondary. Don't forget, you were without Miles Slusher, who saw some time this year, who was playing in rotation. You're having bits and pieces of your defense picked apart. No Sosa game, right? No Scooter Harris. No Dre Greenlaw. Bumper Pool, who said it? Who said that guy is an all SEC caliber linebacker? Mark it down. It's this guy right here. 2 thumbs right here. And I know some of you were doing the same in chat. Bumper Pool's a baller. You may not have Bumper Pool this weekend. I think as far as a defensive coordinator, now I say that, and he's probably going to give up a ton of yards and some points this weekend because Ole Miss on offense is damn good. The point I'm making is that if Odom can hone in on that Odom magic this weekend, do what he did as far as preparation for Georgia in that first half and the adjustments that he made in the second half against Auburn, how he exploited Mississippi State's offense in week 2 in SEC play. If he hones in on that, Arkansas wins this football game, you guys. I'm telling you. And it sounds like you're going to get some pieces back. I don't know how long that's going to last. You've got a depth chart issue in quality depth. I have beat you guys over the head with that for the last 2 years. Quality depth matters. And that's going to show up if Bumper Pool's not there because you don't have Levi Draper. Not that Draper even made the 2 deep when he was healthy, but you don't have other pieces. You're probably going to have to rely on Henry or maybe a freshman. You're going to have to rely on someone who's not played a lot at that position this year. Bumper Pool, how many pass breakups? Think about the things that he does even when he doesn't get a tackle. He's a part of the field. He takes away a portion of the field. He doesn't take the ball away. He doesn't get interceptions, but he breaks them up. He gets a hand on the ball. He wraps up and tackles an open field. You've got to replace that kind of production on defense. He was having an all SEC year up until last week when he got hurt. So you got to replace that. I don't know how Odom does that. And again, it would not shock me if Ole Miss found a way to hang 45, 50 points on Arkansas. That's a big piece. Not to mention, he's a leader on that defense. He's one of the leaders on that defense. I'm telling you, that's going to matter. However, Odom can overcome that because the guy, he's just got it up there, man, and he's hungry, unlike the defensive coordinator they had the last couple of years. Let's see. False James Brewer, fast start. Yeah, well, that is absolutely a key. I agree. Costello was good too. Well, he was. I thought Dorian Gerald sprained a high ankle. Well, that's what they had said. If it is a high ankle sprain, but then I had heard that was not the issue. If it's a high ankle sprain, though, sometimes those things could take a little while. Rakeem Boyd, north-south run game going, and fake rollouts with runners, LOL, useless. Okay, I was wrong about Leach. I'll admit that. Yeah, you were. I remember that, Fish. I remember you were a big proponent. And I said I would have taken him. I would have. Who would have thought Sam Pittman? I mean, I am tickled to death that I'm wrong so far on that hire. So far, let's hope we can keep that up all year. But his guys play for him. There's no doubt about that. I think Arkansas has the defense to stop Ole Miss offense. If they do, we will run away with this game. Not likely, but possible. This is Chance Womack. So Bumper is for sure not playing, ? Well, that sucks. It doesn't sound like he's going to. And I don't know if he's not 100% that you want to risk further injury in this game. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is there. You a boogaloo boy, says King Yeti. Is that some backwoods Mississippi term? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. Try typing without a big thing of chaw in your mouth. It's hard to do both at the same time if you're from Mississippi. I get it. I'm just kidding. Welcome, King. I've never seen you in here. I assume you're an Ole Miss fan. Or, I don't know, LSU fans. LSU fans hate me. Couldn't tell you why, though. Couldn't be possibly because I said they all smell like corn dogs. I hope Bumper plays because you're going to need him back. You're going to need Bumper. There's no doubt about that. You're going to need Bumper. You're going to need Mo Brown. You're going to need pressure in that backfield. No doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, seems like most of you think Arkansas can win this game. Want to keep everyone in mind, if anyone thinks that Ole Miss racks up the scores, I'm not going to argue with you. Ole Miss has got a hell of an offense. I'm not going to argue with that, but keep in mind, Arkansas through 12 quarters of football have given up just 7 touchdowns. I think that's like the third fewest right now in the SEC. You have Odom as a DC. You're slowly getting healthier. I don't know what the deal is with Slusher. I had something shared with me earlier And I thought it showed Slusher coming back this week, but Slusher is definitely a guy that kind of runs and rotation on this in the secondary and on the defense. So, the fumble recovery. Remember that? So, yeah, you're getting the pieces back. Certainly getting those back on offense for sure. Hey, brother, what's up, Daniel? How you doing, man? What was your prediction for game? Missed the Hawk Talk podcast. I'm going to let you know here in just a second. I lived in Mississippi from 03 to 07. When we were destroying Ole Miss, it was great. Yeah, that game was almost like, especially under Houston Nutt, it was like you just scratched it in. Along with Mississippi State for the most part, you just scratched it in as a dub. Sup, Ty? Super excited for Saturday. Another shot for Barry to show his game planning prowess. I think so. I want to say this, too. I can't wait for the post game. If Arkansas wins this game, I can't wait. Those are the funnest. But even when they lose, they're fun. But Mississippi State fans were pretty classy in the post game and on Twitter, on social. Most of them that I saw, there were a lot of salty Mississippi State fans. But Ole Miss fans, they get touchy. They get really touchy. That's gonna be interesting. And then if Arkansas loses, well, I'll probably go on a pretty good long rant. Why is Ole Miss defense so bad? I don't know. I think they're running out of the talent that they bought and paid for, I guess, under Freeze. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I guess when you change your stupid mascot every 6 months, what are they, the Ole Miss Land Shark Rebel Bears? Like, what the hell are they? The Land Sharks. Get out of here with that nonsense. Bunch of malarkey. Wasn't do you guys remember Family Guy, Cleveland Brown? Wasn't he from Mississippi? Wasn't that his thing? Was he from Miss? No. He was from Virginia. That's what it was. For some reason, I was thinking it was Mississippi. My name is Cleveland Brown, and I'm proud to be right back in my hometown. Yeah, I know you guys remember that theme song. They canceled that show, and I thought it was pretty funny. American Dad's funnier than Family Guy, though. Don't at me. It just is. Like, how's that go? New friends and old friends and even a bear. I like that show, man. And I wondered why they gave him his own show. I was like, he's not that great. And it turned out to be a pretty damn funny show. His kid cracks me up. All right, well, my prediction. Again, if you haven't already, post your predictions down below. Social justice warriors need to stay the hell away from naming teams. No comment. What will Boyd's impact be? Also, does Treylon work better in the Browse offense, or does this give us more depth? I mean, are you talking about like which? You're gonna have to be a little more specific, Mark. I'm sorry. What, as far as Boyd's impact, so if he is 100% and he's back, he says he's back. Rakeem Boyd. I don't know. He's been kind of non-existent even before the injury. The question is, Treylon has been better. If that's what you're asking, if it's Treylon just a better fit in the offense, you can't deny Rakeem Boyd's talent. There's no doubt about that. This guy was projected as an NFL prospect a year ago. I don't know if he's hurting himself by not playing, but that's not his fault. He needs more exposure. We need to. I think against a team like Ole Miss, whose run defense is not very good, you got to get him going, and you can get him going in this game, I think. You can use Treylon, a little thunder, lightning action, change of pace, run it back by committee with Treylon. And Rakeem Boyd he's a solid north-south runner, but you've got to get the run game going. I want more of what we saw last week. And if that means, again, screen plays, just finding ways to get him, either Boyd or Treylon, out in the open field. They're so hard to tackle on an open field. Rakeem Boyd can break tackles. He can run through tackles. He's got the burst to make something happen if he catches the ball out of the screen or whatever. The play calling when Treylon took over was fantastic. When Boyd was no longer on the field, all of a sudden it was like Kendall Briles, and that's a good argument. If that's what you're saying, Mark, that's a good point. It seemed like all of a sudden the offense started to click a little bit better. I was really impressed with him. And, obviously I want Rakeem Boyd, who's a good kid. I want him to have success. I want him because I do believe he's an NFL back. Doesn't mean he's going to be an all-pro guy, but I think he's capable of making a 53-man roster. I thought he was capable of that a year ago. That's why I was surprised that he came back. I want to see him. I think you have more success when Boyd gets going, and this offense is opening up gaps. And they don't even have to be big gaps for him or Treylon to run through. I want to see him. I'll tell you who else I want to see get going in this offense. I want to see the tight ends. I want to see Hudson Henry. And I'm not saying that it's so hard to do, even just your second year on campus, but I'd love to see him live up to some of the hype when he was a high school prospect coming out of Central Arkansas. And some people think, well, he was given that 4-star because of his name. That's not entirely accurate. I think if you go back and watch this film, he's a pretty impressive tight end. A lot of recruiting analysts were impressed by him. And I want to see him. I want to see him keep doing what he did against Mississippi State. 4 grabs and a touchdown. Build off of that. Get back. Stay healthy. And of course, that's been his biggest issue: is staying healthy. Get the tight end going. Get the tight end more involved. And again, Kendall Briles, his best offenses are when the tight end would slip loose underneath route or slant or something. They just slip loose out from behind the line of scrimmage, and right there they are, wide open. That's when tight ends, when they're utilized in this offense the way they utilized them at Florida State or wherever else he's been in OC, it seems like the offense is in rhythm better when that happens. Obviously, you got to set the run game. We're going to say that every week. You're going to hear me say that every single week. Win up front on the line of scrimmage. Duh. Like football 101. Win the line of scrimmage, right? On both sides of the ball, your odds of winning the game are far higher. Get the tight end involved more. I want to see Hudson Henry, that big, long frame. Good catch radius, by the way. That kid, he catches the ball almost like a wideout out of the air. I'm not calling him Hunter Henry, but he is capable of making some big grabs. But he's got to hang on to the football. Don't drop balls. Remember, we were saying that about Trey Knox, and now this year the kid can't hang on to a football. He's got a case of the drop the ball-initis. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, American Dad is where it is. Cleveland Show, Family Guy. Family Guy is just not funny anymore. It's just not funny. Cleveland Show was the best of all. Jacoby Rourke says 24-34, Arkansas with the win. Okay. Who's going to have more yards? Does Treylon work better fit-wise? With Rakeem healthy, he's going to be out there, right? Until he starts tapping that helmet or until he gets banged up. Again, he's had some durability issues, especially his time at Arkansas. He's had some durability issues. But if he stays healthy, then yeah, I would be surprised if Treylon took over simply because they couldn't get the game going with Rakeem Boyd. If your offensive line is blocking up front, doing their job, Rakeem Boyd should be able to get things going. No end arounds at all, says Alex. Yeah, I agree 100%. The Mr. Fiero 56. Oh, long time no see. Is there a chance we get Knox back into the mix on offense? He's been out of sync, but he did some great stuff last year. He's been the biggest. He's really been the story when you think about it, and not for good reasons. He's dropping the ball. I think what's happening, excuse me, I think what's happening is Felipe Franks is starting to lose faith in Trey Knox, and maybe he's getting more the heat because Burks isn't out on the field. Maybe he's facing more double coverage. I don't know. But he is dropping the ball when he's been given the opportunity. He's dropping the football. He's got so much talent, and I do think eventually he'll snap out of it. I don't know if that happens this year or not. Needs to. You talk about someone that needs to live up to those expectations. This is a kid highly recruited out of high school. Big pickup for Chad Morris. Huge pickup for Chad Morris alongside Burks. And it looked like he was going to be the star a year ago, with Burks facing injuries and what have you. And it's kind of the same thing this year. Burks is down with an injury, and you're having to rely on Devion Warren and Mike Woods. Nothing against those guys. I think they're both, capable wideouts. But this is supposed to be the Knox show if Treylon Burks isn't good to go. And when he is good to go, it's supposed to be the Burks and Knox show. And that's not the case. I'm not saying I expected something similar to the D-Mac Felix Jones show, but for wideouts, something close to that, when you want to talk about the equivalent to the position at wideout from running back, I kind of thought it would be 1-2. If Burks is facing double coverage, then Knox is going to stand out. Burks he's been banged up. Okay, Knox is going to be the guy, and maybe someone else steps up. Someone else steps up. It's been Devion Warren and a little bit of Mike Woods and the tight ends. Tight ends have helped out Kern and Hudson Henry a little bit. Knox is nowhere to be found. I don't know what the issue is with Knox. I could go on about that. How about doing Warren? Let me approve your comment here. I don't know why it was held. How about Devion Warren? And did we get Burks back? Yes, we're gonna beat the Corn Dogs. I don't know. Well, yeah. Burks. We need Burks. Burks has got to be healthy. That's all I'll say about that. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one to watch. I think Ole Miss has more yards, but Hawes D makes 3 or 4 big stops to win win by 7 to 10. I thought you were predicting 10 to 7. I was like, what? You never know. You never know because you've seen how some of these have gone before. High-scoring offense gets held to like 14 points. I'm not saying that's going to be the case tomorrow. Believe me, I've got my score. I've got my prediction. But you never know how these things wind up. But, yeah, Joshua thinks it's going to be Arkansas gets a few stops and wins by a touchdown or 10. So given how many miscues we had last week, and Felipe still threw for 4. Can we really expect a bad game like the Florida guys call for? Yeah, so I think you're referencing what I had said last week, where Felipe Franks, where I've got friends that are diehard Florida Gator fans, who will tell you he would have a game where he would throw lights out, high percentage, high pass completion percentage, throw for 2-3 scores, a great game, turn around and flop. The thing I would argue is we haven't seen it through 3 games, and Ole Miss is not a good defense. Now, if there's one thing you have to give the SEC credit for, and even a team that has a defense as bad as Ole Miss's, don't ever overlook the quality of some of these unknown coordinators. Who knows what Ole Miss's game plan is going to be on defense? You also got to look at their depth. They're injured. They're banged up. They got guys out with COVID. I'm still not entirely sure who the hell's out with COVID over there. Don't ever underestimate underrated just these defensive coordinators who have a bad year, and then that game you're expecting them to get blown out on defense, come in and step up with a really good game plan. Here, look, Arkansas's run offense this year has been terrible. And the thing that has saved them, you go back to the Mississippi State game, it's been Felipe Franks. He's been the X factor on offense. I mean, he really has. I don't think anyone expected him to have this good of a year, and he's killing it. He's been the X factor even when your run game's not there. Maybe Ole Miss has an idea for that. Maybe they're going to dial up pressure from different spots, and they're going to put all the pressure on the Razorback run game. They're going to force you to either settle for check down throws. We know that Felipe Franks has had an issue with hesitation. That's been a big problem for Felipe Franks this year. He hesitates. Needs to get that out of his head. He won't throw the ball away. He tries to do something. He runs out of the pocket. Guess what? He gets sacked. Again, I think Arkansas's given up 7 sacks. I think 4 of those sacks are on Felipe Franks. That's the only issue I have with him right now. Maybe Ole Miss has something dialed up for that. Maybe they've got something in their game plan. They're like, all right, Arkansas's kind of exploitable here because their run offense has been mostly atrocious this year. Their run blocking has been D- other than the Auburn game. And I wonder if some of that had more to do with the fact that Auburn just didn't know how to prepare for Treylon. It makes you wonder, right? Like, we hadn't really seen him a whole lot this year. Ole Miss now has more footage. They have footage on what he can do. So don't ever underestimate an SEC staff, even the ones that look terrible. They are in the SEC after all. Someone thought they were worthy of being in this conference despite what they've done this year. Again, not saying Ole Miss is going to stop Arkansas on offense. Not saying that at all. What Franks has showed me, he's going to be efficient. I agree. As far as points to touchdown ratio, says Joshua. Go Hogs, go! What's up, Lorenzo? How you doing? Don't have 3 and outs on first possession. Dear Lord. Like I said at the beginning, don't start off slow. You just can't afford it. You cannot afford it. Felipe is different. Is in a different mentality with the Hogs than that old Florida quarterback. Wait, what? Felipe is in a different mentality with the Hogs. That old Felipe quarterback, and Okay, I'm not really sure what you're saying. Felipe is playing like a 5-star last 2 games. I do agree with that. I've been really impressed these last 2 games. I want to see more of that. I agree, King Mello. I agree 100%, my man. Joshua Michael says, correction, Franks will be efficient as far as yards thrown equaling touchdowns scored. He may not throw for high numbers, but he will punch it in the end zone. Okay? Our goal line offense doesn't exist. For the love of God. For the love of God, don't switch your quarterback at the goal line. Don't do it. Throw that out, along with the T.J. Hammonds, end arounds, and double reverses. Those haven't worked. I don't care if it's Malik Hornsby or KJ Jefferson. Don't do it for the love of God. I agree, Mr. Bloodline. It's been terrible. Are y'all like up the stream? S4SSY, I would lay off the peyote. As a bettor, I can say I've been very pleased with our progress this year. We have covered. Oh, I see what you're saying. We've covered in all 3 games. Yeah. So on to the prediction. For my prediction, I'm going with, and you saw it if you follow the Hog Talk, but I am taking the Razorbacks 35-29. It's the second time this year I picked the Hogs. Last week I picked the Hogs, and this chair's killing me. And they should have won. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They should have won that football game. They did win that football game, just not according to the SEC. So I am taking the Hogs again this week. I think they win this thing. I think they hold Ole Miss to 29. Again, Arkansas's only given up 7 touchdowns, that is, through 12 quarters. So I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about tomorrow's game, especially when you consider all the issues that Ole Miss is dealing with COVID, with the injuries. You know, Lane Kiffin talking about his personnel. He says, quote, unquote, we are not in a great situation number-wise at all. When you kind of combine all these things, it'd be a lot better if we knew exactly. You know, all these teams have been so hush-hush on injuries and COVID and what have you, but I kind of like Arkansas's odds. It seems like you're when you think about it, you've got the momentum off that Auburn game. You got the momentum off the last 2 games. You got the momentum of you're back at home. You know, you've got all these players coming back. Burks, Boyd, Henry, possibly Mo Brown. Hopefully the bumper pull stuff, hopefully he's good to go Saturday. I don't know. As of right now, I've got a big question mark as far as that's concerned. That is a difference maker. Don't get me wrong. That's a position that Arkansas needs 100% healthy. I don't know what they do if he doesn't play. It could be the younger Henry brother, or maybe they move Morgan over. I don't know. Maybe they play a younger guy or someone who hasn't seen the field. I know when Levi Draper transferred here, that was kind of the hope that he would help add to that to the 2 deep. Obviously, he can't. He's busted up, and before that, he hadn't even seen the field on defense, as far as I know. Struggled to make the 2 deep. So you've got so many issues at linebacker. It's the position. You can't get injured. You cannot sustain these kind of injuries and expect to go very far. I hope Odom dials in that. I don't know, the Odom defensive brain that he has. I hope he's completely dialed in. I hope his guys are ready to go. Take out some of that anger and frustration of the bullshit that happened last week and invest it into this game. If these things happen, Arkansas could win this thing bigger than we think. You know, injuries matter, health, durability, these things matter. They're back at home. It's obviously a big game. We want to beat the Ole Miss Land Shark Rebel Bears. You want to beat that ass. You want to spank that ass. And you do that by what I just said earlier. Start off quick. Cannot be 3 and out. I don't care if you go down the field. I would prefer 6. I don't know that you can settle for many field goals in this game. I don't know. There's going to be a lot asked of your defense, so the offense has to find a way to stay on the field. What happened last week when they got the run game going on offense? What happened? Their offense was almost unstoppable. Auburn did not know what to do. I said almost unstoppable. Almost unstoppable. Auburn didn't know what to do, and then the defense kicked in. Then they were getting more. They're getting more time to rest. Game plan for the rest of the quarter, for the next series. Everything flows into motion when you get the run game going on offense. Your offense is clicking, and then the whole thing just it unravels for the other team. They can't get you off the field, and your defense is rested. It just changes the whole. Again, Auburn, 215 yards of rushing offense in the first half. Look at what they did in the second half. What, 50, 55? Am I wrong? Was it 60 yards or something in the entire second half on the run game? Your defense was rested, despite some of the injuries throughout the game, because your offense was able to maintain drives and stay on the field. That's going to be key. And that's why I think that's going to be a big part of why they hold them to under 30 points, because your offense just rolls. Eat up game clock, that time of possession. They're high tempo, and they're going to try and get up and down the field as quick as possible, as quick as humanly possible. They're going to try and rack up points early. I get that, but you cannot afford 3 and outs. And if you punt, oh, Lord, cover. Get downfield and cover, for the love of God. Stop with this 15, 16-yard punt returns. You get a chance to pin them back, you got to take it. You cannot make those kind of mistakes on special teams. I'm telling you guys, if Fountain doesn't get this fixed by the end of the year, I don't know that you hang on to the special teams coach. He's not a big necessity. There are other staffs around the country that are doing just fine without a special teams coordinator. I'm not hating on Fountain, not hating on him. I'm just saying we're not getting some of the magic that he's had at other previous jobs. And I don't think that's just completely on the personnel on the field. The mistakes on fourth down are just costing this team. And you go back to what happened a week ago. Yeah, the SEC screwed you. I agree, but that wouldn't have happened if special teams had come through. They didn't make the mistakes. And some of that's not all on him. The 2-point conversions were just a catastrophe. But special teams, had they come through, you wouldn't have had to worry about the SEC officiating screwing you over. Auburn wouldn't have been given that last chance. But I don't know. I'm just saying, not right now. I'm not a big fan of what's going on with special teams. Not at all. They are worse off than where they were at the last couple of years so far. I think it's fixable. I do. I think it's all fixable, and I think it can happen. Fountain is a quality special teams coach. At least until he came to Arkansas. Then I'm not really sure. I think Traylon Smith is the real deal, and we should keep playing him steady for the rest of the season, even though Rakeem is back. I don't know. Rakeem Boyd is very hard to keep off the field. I mean, you're talking about a really solid – you're talking about an NFL back. That's why we need more linebackers, says Arky56. Yeah. No illegal formations on punt cover. Oh, how many times have they been hit with that on special teams? It's ridiculous. Pittman loves him because he talked him into leaving Georgia and follow him to Arkansas. Pittman is a nice guy, and that's great. Special teams has got to get better. I mean, I feel like Odom could get a better special teams game plan together. Our D-Cord always handled our special teams. Yeah, I don't know. And again, I think Fountain is a quality coach. For whatever reason, he's just struggled at Arkansas. Again, it's all fixable. I think it's all fixable. It really is. You got a punter with a hell of a leg. I mean, that guy is averaging, 49 yards a punt, right? Pin them back. Got to get better on coverage. No mistakes on fourth down. Arkansas's got a real shot. Again, I'm taking the Hogs. I just like them here. I like that it seems like they're getting the pieces back. And again, it's 35-29. That's my pick. All right, that's it. I'm gonna feed my kids. I'm gonna feed the kiddos. We're gonna eat dinner and probably watch a Disney movie and go to bed. Get ready for tomorrow. So you guys be careful out there. Remember, like, comment, share the content. Check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box to all the Patreon supporters. You guys have really come through. You're big time. Patreon supporters have rocked it. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm taking off these glasses. They start to... Oh, my eyes are probably bloodshot. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out, if you want to become a member of the PTN Patreon, that link is provided for you down below. You just click the link, takes you right to the page. If you don't want to do that, it's a minimum of $4 a month. If you don't want to do that, there's a I call it a tip jar, but it's the PayPal link. No, I don't have Cash App, and I don't have the other thing you guys are always asking me about, the other PayPal app. I've only got PayPal. What's it called? There's Cash App and what's the other one? Venmo. I do have a Venmo. I just don't have it set up. I have my account, but I don't have it set up. But anyways, those links are all provided for you down below. Hog Talk Podcast, the latest episode, is available for download. Remember, we're a part of the Hit That Line We're part of their podcast lineup. If you guys listen to The Morning Rush, Tommy Kraft. Oh, that was the other thing. We didn't even talk about that. Did you see what Tommy Kraft tweeted out today? Holy cow. Hang on. Overtime. We're going into overtime. I don't want to mess this up. Let me find his. Tommy doesn't follow me on Twitter, but that's okay. College football replay guidelines for clear and immediate recovery are changing for this week following the Arkansas versus Auburn game. New guidance will allow for replay to consider any recovery beginning this week. Tommy Kraft says, day late and $1 short. How about that? On that note, woo pig suey. I will see you guys tomorrow on the halftime show over on Facebook. Arkansas Hawk Talk, if you don't follow us over there, and the post-game show here. Win or lose, I'll be here, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. Woo pig, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Behave.